Hello everyone, today I've got what looks to be a Gibson SG, but as I'm sure you're aware by the title of this review, it is in fact a Chinese copy known as a Chibson. Now I've had a fair few Chibsons pass through my hands, either by sale or trade or repair, but one of the most common tasks I have for these are upgrades, setups and fret repairs. These usually come with a few problems, so let's get to work and see what needs to be done to this one. The first thing to do is look over the guitar, and the first impressions look great. The wood looks nice, but as with all Chibson guitars, it's very hard to tell exactly what wood it is, but I would assume it was some type of mahogany, and even though it's quite hard to see, it is not a single piece. The colour itself is unique, and by that I mean it's not exactly your classic Gibson brown, and it's not your classic Gibson cherry red either. It's what seems to be a nice blend of both. So depending on which light this guitar is in, it changes, which I think would look great under stage lighting. The bound rosewood neck is a lovely smooth slim neck, with no fret spray at all. The nut measures at 43mm, the first fret measures exactly 44mm, and the 12th fret comes in at 52mm. This has a nice, what Gibson would call, a 60's slim profile to it, and that feels fine and comfortable to play, even for those like myself with a smaller hand. The chrome machine heads are labelled as Grover, but I doubt very much these are genuine, but look and feel great and work well, holding tune perfectly. Moving on to the body, it has the usual 2 volume and 2 tone configurations, with 4 top hat knobs which are correct for the period that this guitar is depicting. You can see here by this picture that both the bridge and the tailpiece are Epiphone, though the bridge for some reason has had the name ground out. These are obviously very well made, and the bridge weighs in at 49 grams and the tailpiece is 72 grams. The body measures 37.5mm, which I believe is pretty much standard for most SG guitars. The weight of this guitar is just over 6 pounds, at 6 pounds and 2 ounces. The volume and tone pots are mini pots, but the sweep of these pots are good and cause no problems at all, so whilst this could possibly benefit from the option of an upgrade to full-size 60'S pots, there's no real need to do this unless your style of playing relies on this, with volume swells etc. I took out the pickups, and as you can see the routing has been done very well, and so has the neck joint. Now as I didn't buy this guitar new, I can only assume that the original pickups that these Chinese copies are shipped with have been changed, which is usually the first job to do, as the pickups are always cheap and microphonic. These have been changed to a set of Epiphone 57 Classics, so definitely a vast improvement. The bridge pickup reads a hot 1452, middle position 488, and the neck is a nice 732, which explains why this guitar is so versatile. Now as always, pickup tones are totally subjective, but let's have a listen to some clean and dirty tones. don't often see the SGs on the market here in the UK, and I'm pleased I picked this one up. The Gibson logo in particular looks fantastic, and I'd go as far as to say that this guitar looks and feels better than, say, the official Epiphone and vintage made copies of the iconic Gibson SG. Keeping the moral issue to one side as always, as this video isn't intended to promote or demote these unofficial Chinese copies, but like it or not, these are out there, and though there are obvious telltale signs such as the bridge, serial numbers, etc., there is always a big risk that buyers could be tricked into believing that these are the real deal, a task made even more tricky when they look and sound as fantastic as this one does. So before I leave you with a sample of how great this guitar is in a mix, I hope you enjoyed the video and I look forward to seeing you all again soon. As always, if you have found this content entertaining or useful, then please like and subscribe, as this helps me keep doing these independent reviews and demonstrations. Thank you all for watching.
Rock and roll doesn't